So the question that you ask is when the gun's about to go off, so to speak, and I am sitting there in anticipation of beginning the race, how is it that I can be calm? And I will say that the question is not how is it that I can be calm, because that would be the same question as asking how is it that I can be warm in a thermostat, in a room with a thermostat which has been turned down. You're not going to be. So then what do? You have to understand how to work the thermostat. So then why is it? The question is not the question is not band-aids. The question is not what can I do to become calm? The ship has already sailed. Okay? The question becomes, why am I nervous in the first place? That's the question. Now, you will hear very few people ask that question because it is such a common thing to be nervous, and because everyone is, you see, in the land of the insane, only the sane person stands out. Okay? So because everyone is nervous, it is considered normal. And then you will have so-called scientific studies which come out and say it is good to be nervous. It heightens your peak of the on the flow chart, and it enhances performance. So everything justifies the status quo. And I will say that I disagree with nervousness. I disagree with the idea that if you're not nervous, something's wrong with you. I think that if you're nervous, something is wrong with you and everybody else. Well, then what is that? Well, here it is. If you are nervous, then that means that you have desire. Okay, then you're going to ask, well, how do I get rid of desire? Well, that's a very dangerous question. The question is, as long as I have written this in a discourse some time ago, and I'll reiterate it to you today. And my youngest was either 8 or 9 years old, and we were walking on a par three, and my kids are both golfers, and he asked me, where does fear come from? And I was taken aback by the question, and I was put on the spot, but I had to provide an answer. But I couldn't think, because if I thought, I knew that I would spin my wheels and give an intellectual answer, which would mean nothing. So I allowed my instincts to take over and give him a response. And the response that I found myself giving was, wherever there's a consequence, there is fear. Okay? So if you are in any situation in which there is a perceived consequence, and the bigger the perceived consequence, the more there will be fear. It cannot be otherwise. And if you then say that I will keep the consequence, but I want you to give me an antidote for the fear, I will say that you're being disingenuous.